Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And it's a special day in the world of Sudoku today because it is VikingPrime's birthday. And VikingPrime, well, many happy returns firstly. Mark is scheduled to do one of your puzzles later on today. I hope I'm not... I hope he'll be able to do it because VikingPrime's puzzles are very difficult. I'm also scheduled to do something that has been made for you for your birthday, a birthday present by none other than the great Marty Sears, called Hijinks, which I think is about, it's got lying in it, which is it's always a little bit risky, because lying puzzles can be incredibly difficult. But yes, this puzzle definitely has what are they described as? Shenanigans. A mischief digit that causes things to not be what they first appear to be. This is what we're going to have a go at in today's video. I think it's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so probably not a walk in the park. But I'm probably, assuming I can solve this one, not the last Marty Sears puzzle we'll do on the channel this week, because hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be a new rat run puzzle on Wednesday. But this is what we're going to do today to celebrate VikingPrime's birthday. Now, what else can I tell you about? Oh, if you'll permit me, I'm just going to share with you a little tiny bit of history from the channel, because on Facebook, this popped up, which is, if I click that, will that work? I'm not sure it will. That's 6 years ago. 6 years ago today, that happened. Cracking the Cryptic popped up from 99,900 to 100,000 subscribers. And since then, we've obviously increased the subscriber base even further. I think we're sitting just below 700,000 subscribers today. So, I mean, incredible. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Isn't it? And it's just amazing. It's just amazing that this wonderful hobby has become as big as it has. And yeah, if you do watch and you're not subscribed, please help us to reach 700,000 subscribers. We'd be so grateful. And try and teach the YouTube algorithm that these puzzles, I still think there are literally millions and millions of people out there who, if they knew about the existence of these things, would just fall in love with them too. And the only way we can reach those people is with your help and trying to encourage the puzzle that we've never quite managed to solve with the YouTube algorithm. We don't understand why some videos are popular and why others are sort of less popular. It is a total mystery. But anything you can do, and I think subscribing does encourage the algorithm. We'd be so grateful. Anyway, that's a little bit of history. 6 years ago today, we passed 100,000, and I must have got my silver plaque then. Oh yeah, no, I did. Hang on, let me just grab it. It's in my office. I don't know. Can you see it? Can you? I don't know if that'll come out, but that is the silver plaque we got when we reached 100,000 subscribers. Now, if you don't know, you don't get another plaque on YouTube until you get 1 million subscribers. You have to increase 10 times from hang on, let me just carefully balance that. This one. You don't get another plaque. I think you get a gold plaque if you get to 1 million. I don't know what you get after that. Those are levels to which I can't even dream. But the anyway, yeah. That must have been when we got the silver plaque. Anyway, I'm digressing. What else do I want to mention? There are a few things. We're streaming tonight. Blueprints, 10 p.m. UK time. Love to have your company. 41st time. We'll be back in the Blueprints mansion. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Mark sort of is too. And yeah, fingers crossed. We'll find some new secrets out then. Also, it's the 20th today. Now that means it is the closing date for our monthly competition. Sandra and Nala's very popular Bug Friends Sudoku hunt. It's been over on Patreon since the first of the month, and you can see that the numbers of people who've been solving these puzzles is extraordinary. So we're closing in on 1,300 solvers of the first 8 puzzles, and those are the puzzles you'll need to do in order to be eligible to win the prize. And well over 2,000 solves of the first puzzle. So a couple of things to mention in this regard. Firstly, you can see there's a bonus puzzle listed there, which has had 706 solves, the cracked Easter egg. I can tell you that there are no less than 9 bonus puzzles. I just want to check that. 9 bonus puzzles in that pack, 8 of which are hidden. I'm not going to say any more, but if you haven't spotted some of the bonus puzzles, you might want to go and look at your packs again, and you might find some more treats in there, courtesy of Sandra and Nala. So that is a little, quite a few Easter eggs hidden within it. So go and check those out and have some fun with those. And the other thing to mention is that the prize, obviously, if you do manage to solve all 8 puzzles, you'll be in with a chance of coming onto or being invited to come onto the channel to solve a puzzle. And Merel very kindly agreed to do that. Merel won last month's competition, and that video went live this morning at 10 a.m. UK time. So do check that video out. It's something I really love doing, and it was a treat for me to meet Merel, and you'll see if you watch the video how clever she is. I mean, it's phenomenal. Some of the people who watch this channel are so clever, I cannot tell you. Anyway, that's a bonus that's on the channel this morning. Now, what else? Oh, 2 more birthdays to do. Let me look at my list. Now, the first one, I have hunted high and low for how I know this, but Guy, and it could even be Guy if it's the French pronunciation. Guy's turning 18 today, and I wanted to say happy birthday. And I can't find out how I know this. I think it might be a comment under a YouTube video, but the way YouTube makes it incredibly difficult to filter your comments and find, who said what when. And I can't find it that way. I've checked on Instagram. I couldn't find it there. I can't find it in our emails, which is the most and reliable way of reaching us if you want a birthday shout out. But Guy, I just wanted to say many happy returns on your 18th birthday. I don't know how I know it's your 18th birthday, but I think it is. And I hope you have a brilliant day with, of course, a very heavily iced chocolate cake. And then the other birthday is for Milo. Milo, you've turned 21 today, so we've got an 18th birthday and a 21st birthday. And I know it's your birthday, Milo, because your girlfriend Erin wrote to me and told me that the 2 of you watched the videos together, and she thought you might like a shout out. So I hope it's true. Milo, many happy returns. I hope you get also some heavily iced chocolate cake. And that's all the news. Shall we have a go at Hijinks by Marty Sears? I'm looking forward to this. What are the rules today? Let me just check that I have... Yeah, I think the video looks like it's recording, which is, since I've been using OBS, is always slightly concerning. But what have we got to do? We've got normal Sudoku rules applying, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Along each line, the hexagon is referred to as position 1. Okay. The next cell along is position 2. And so on. So this would be position 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Digits never repeat along a line. Okay, so whatever we put on this line, we couldn't then repeat it. And the same will be true for other lines. Purple lines are thermos. Digits along thermos always increase as you move away from the hexagon, e.g. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9 would be a valid thermo. 2, 4, yeah, that one works. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. So 2, you can see, just as mercury would rise as the temperature rises in real life thermos, along Sudoku thermos, digits rise. So that's how thermos work. Turquoise lines are index lines. On an index line, the digit in the nth position indicates the position along the line where the digit n appears. I always get these things. These are so confusing to me. E.g., 32154 would be a valid index line. No, that's not long enough. 3, 2, 1. Oh, bobbins. I don't think there is one that's of length 5. Should we draw one? Oh, I know what I could do. It won't quite let me. I'll just extend that one. And then we could say 3, 2, 1, 5, 4 would be a valid index line. The 3 in the first position indicates that there is a 1 in the third position, and so on. Yeah, I remember how these work now. So the way these work is the digit in the first position is always telling you where on the line the digit 1 appears. The digit in the second position is telling you where the digit 2 appears. So here, the digit 2 is in the second position, so it sort of indexes itself. And these pair off, don't they? So this 3 is telling us to write a 1 into position 3, but then by the time you get to the 1 is in the third position, so it's telling you where on the line to write the position, the digit 3, which is back here again. So they sort of pair off and index each other. And then the 5 is in position 4, so it's telling you where the 4 goes on the line, and that would go here. So that's how turquoise index lines work. Light brown lines are hitlines. Digits can be in any order on a hitline, but the digit in the hexagon indicates how many digits along the hitline match their position number. Okay, these are the ones I find even more confusing than index lines. E.g., have we got a 5 length hit? I don't believe it. I haven't got a 5 length hit line either. Okay, but we'll extend that one. 1, 2, 3. Right, so this one's now long enough. And we could put on this one, the example says 2, 7, 3, 1, 5. So the 2 on the hexagon indicates that exactly 2 digits match their position number. In this case, 3 in position 3 and the 5 in the 5th position. Yes, okay. So in this one, the hexagon gives you the count of how many correctly positioned digits there are on the line, with this being first position, second position, third position, fourth position, 5th position. So the 3 and the 5 are correct, so and they are the only correct ones, so you write 2 into this one. Absolutely straightforward. Not. No, it's sort of straightforward, but if you only see them, once a month, you'll forgive me if I can't remember how they work. Now, shenanigans. One of the digits 1 to 9 to be determined is the mischief digit. Every line follows one and only one in capital letters of the 3 line rules above. But any line containing the mischief digit has been painted the wrong colour. Any line not containing the mischief digit is the correct colour. Right. So say the mischief digit was a 5. Okay, so any box, any line. So every line follows only one rule. And if a line doesn't have a 5 on it, it's correctly coloured. And if a line does have a 5 on it, it's not correctly coloured. I understand that. I mean, I understand the principle. It doesn't mean I'll be able to solve the puzzle, but I understand what it means. And they are, let me just check, that's all the scrolling I can do. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, how do we do this? So purple lines are thermos. We can't repeat digits on lines, and these ones are index lines. Okay, let me just say something up front. I think index lines are more constrained than hit lines, forgetting about all the lying that's going on. Now, the reason I think that is that because an index line must index to somewhere on its line, it only contains the digits up to its length. So imagine this was a true index line. So again, forget about lying. Then we would know that these were the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4, because whatever you couldn't put a 7 in here, because that would be saying write 2 into the 7th position on the line, which doesn't exist. So now that it's not the same for these hit lines, because a hit line can just have any digit on it, and it only contributes to the hit count if it is itself correct. So this, I mean, this could be silly. It could be 9, 8, 7 here, none of which are remotely in the correct position. And then that could be a 1, and that would be in the correct position, and therefore the line works. So the flexibility of digits on a hit line, I think, is much more extreme than on an index line. But of course, then you get the overlay that things are going to be wrong in this puzzle, or may be wrong. So how long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is a length 9 line. So that is, I was going to say, it can't have a repeated digit on it. So it does have the mystery digit on it. So it's not a thermo. Is that what that means? Because it would be a thermo. If it was correct, if it was a thermo, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, starting in the bulb, or the hexagon. But then obviously, say the 5 is the mystery digit, it's got the 5 on it, which would say it's not a thermo anymore. So this is either an index line or a hit line. How on earth do you tell which of those it is? And this line overlaps with this one. So those two digits are shared between a brown line and a fictitious line. And you don't even know where the fictitious digit is, do you? Not the fictitious, the smelly digit, whatever it was called. I mean, there was a technical term for it, but I'm going to call it the smelly digit. The smelly digit is, it can't be twice on there because you can't repeat a digit. That is effectively an extra region of the puzzle. It's got to contain one of the digits 1 to 9 once each, because you can't repeat a digit on the line. So maybe it's geometry. No, actually it's not. I was suddenly thinking, okay, where does that digit go in box 1, for example? Because it can't repeat on its own line, but it could be here, or it could be in those 3. Hello, I am back. I have made the most almighty ricket today. I forgot my sister was coming round. My sister came round, so I had to leave, and I have been away from the computer for a very long time. So I've not done anything, as you can see from the grid. So it's hardly like the solve is interrupted, but for me, it does feel like it's been interrupted. Because I can't remember what I was doing. Let me just quickly recapitulate. I ought to do this before I sit down, but I'm conscious time's getting away from me now, so I really need to get a move on with trying to solve this puzzle. I am such a doofus. I really am. Right, so the purples are, and we've got the smelly digits. That's what we're trying to find. Digits that turn things the wrong type of line. Now, okay, and I remember thinking this one had to be wrong because it had to have the smelly digit on it, because you can't repeat a smelly digit on a line, and that is a 9-cell line. So So what do we do now? We must look at, the thing is I just don't know. Let's have a look at this one. This one is meant to be a hitline, which means that this is meant to count how many correctly placed digits there are along the line. Now, is that true? That is a length 7 line, so this doesn't have to have the smelly digit on it, but it's quite likely to have it on it. It's got a relatively good chance, doesn't it? It's only missing 2 digits. So if it does have a smelly, the thing is, a smelly digit doesn't even have to be in this box. It could be over here. And then if it was, no matter, what would it do? It would convert it into either the index line, a turquoise line, or it could be a thermo. Okay. Let's try this box then. So what's going on in that box? That box has got, there's definitely a smellification going on in box 7, because I've got to put the smelly digit into box 7, and it's going to be on a line, and it's either going to convert a thermo into an index or a hit line, or an index into a thermo. If it converted that into a thermo, then 1 in the box would have to be in one of the bulbs, and 9 in the box would have to be in one of the tips. But if it converted it into a hit line, I don't even know what that means. What does the hexagon have to contain if it's a hit line? It's got to contain no higher than a 4. It can't even contain a 4, actually, because if that was a 4, it would be saying 4 digits are correctly positioned, and that digit wouldn't be, and that digit couldn't be. So what can that be if it's a hit line? It could be a 1, and then these digits can be anything. It can be a 2. It's weird, actually. If that's a hit line and that's a 2, then this can't be correctly positioned on the line either, because that is position 2, and the 2 would be here. So those 2 would definitely be wrong. So that would have to be 3, and that would have... So you can fill it in, but it would have to go very specifically like that. Now, if this is a 3, no, 3 won't work, because that would be wrong, and that's wrong. So if this is a hit line, that's a 1 or a 2. But if it's a real index line, then it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if it's a thermo, it could be as high as 6, presumably 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Yeah, but short hit lines are difficult, actually. That's what that's just taught me. That probably has to be... In fact, that can't be 2, can it? Because I needed the 4th position. When I made that a 2, I needed to put a 4 here. So can that be a 2? It can be a 1, because it would count itself. If it's a 2... No, it can't be. So that, if that's real, then that is a 1. But if it's not real... Okay. Hang on. Oh, bobbins, I thought I got something really good there, but I don't quite have something really good. Right, here was the way my brain worked, and then you can all laugh. I was going to say, if this was not real, so if it's got a smelly on it, then I was going to say that couldn't be right, because these would have to be real, and therefore they would both be index lines. And what do we know we put on index lines? Only only digits that are up to and including the length of the line. So these would have both been 1, 2, 3, 4s, and that can't work. We can't put all of the digits 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 into column 1. However, what I then didn't realise is that it's actually possible for, well, one of these lines, even if this has got a smelly on it, you could put a smelly in one of those, and that would smellify the whole line, and therefore it wouldn't have to have 1, 2, 3, 4 on it. So if that has, so how does this work? So if that's got a smelly on it, then one of those has to be a smelly. If this doesn't have a smelly on it, then one of these, there will be a smelly in one of those 6, which will smellify one of them, but the other could still be also smellied. So imagine that was a smelly and that was a smelly. You could still totally smellify all of the index lines in column 1. That's vicious and nasty. So what have I actually learned from thinking about this line? Have I learned anything? And I've got that line as well. That's also a short one of those. So if they can't both be right. They can't both be true. I don't think. If these lines were both true index lines, a length 3 index line. You see, this is obvious to everybody. If you're good at hitlines, you just know that length 3 hitline could only have a 1 in the bulb or something, and then you're just away, aren't you? If you don't know these things, I'm going to check this one in a minute. If that's a truth, does that have to be that has to be a 1. So either this is a 1 or that's got a smelly on it. Yeah, but what I was thinking is, how could both of these be true? If they're both true, they both have a 1 in their hexagon, and they can't both have a 1 in their hexagon. So there's at least one smellification in those 6 cells. Now that's quite interesting, actually, for the index lines, because we know that there is a smelly in one of those. That's a horrendous pencil mark, but if you see what I mean. There can't be 2 smellies on those, because that would put 3 smellies, and say the digit 5 is a smelly, that would put 3 5s in the first 2 columns of the grid. So at least, well, hang on, I do know, don't I, that there must be at least one smelly on those. If there was no smellies on these digits would all be from 1, 2, 3, 4. That's definitely wrong. So there is a smelly on one of these 2 lines. There is a smelly on one of those 2 lines, and they are all the smellies for columns 1 and 2. So the smellies are in, I can't really even pen them, but the smellies are in those cells. And the thing is, I can't then say, oh, well, this line's definitely not got a smelly on it, because the smelly could be over here. You don't know. But we do know. Well, I do know one of those is unsmellied, which is going to be a 1 then. There must be a 1 in one of those 2 squares. That's my first pencil mark that I can actually leave in the grid. Now, the other thing we know is that either that line or that line doesn't have a smelly on it, and so does contain 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's, well, that one's interesting, isn't it? If that was real, so if that has no smelly on it, That has a smelly on it. That feels like it can't work. Isn't that going to be too big? What I'm saying is this. If this has a smelly on it, and we know one of those cells is also smellied, then this would have to be that, I don't know what the order would be, but it would be the digits 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that means that the smelly digit, which is here, and I suppose in one of those, the smelly digit is in one of those 3 cells. So it is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. But the bigger problem is that this can't be a thermo now because it's got a smelly on it. Which means that the bulb digit is supposed to be counting. Well, it's definitely not indexing. It's definitely not an index line. Because that digit is meant to say throw the 1. Because this is position 1, it's meant to say throw a 1 onto the line, and 1 is over here. So this, right, so if this is smellied, it can't be a hitline. I mean, imagine that was a 5, and this was a hitline. You'd be saying there are 5 correctly placed digits on there. But that would mean this would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can barely have any of those digits on it. It couldn't have any more than the 5. No. Right. So this is not... This is not true. That has got to have a smelly on it. I just don't think that can be correct. So this is correct, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a better pencil marker. And now 1... because I know one of these is a 1, and 1 is definitely on that line. 1 in column 3 is... ooh, that's interesting. Can I fill it in here? Yes, I can. I can fill it in here. I've got a digit. Because now I know that this has got a smelly on it, so I know this is telling the truth. It's a real thermo. And if it's a real boy, where can you put the 1 on it? You can't put it halfway up, because we can't put half or something in the bulb. That is a real digit. That's a 1. And these digits are all big. Oh, so what is this line now then? Do we know its nature? It's either... we know it's not an index line anymore. So it's either a thermometer, might be able to be that, or it's a hit line, but without a 1 in its hexagon. So it would have to be the 2. It would have to be this thing that we did before, which it can't be actually. Yeah. Okay. How could this be a hit line? If it's a hit line, what are we putting in the hexagon? Can't put 1, so we'd have to put at least a 2. But the 2 makes this position impossible to fill. So this would have to be a 3, 4. And that would get us to a count of 2. But now look at the column. I've got 5 places which are selected from 4 different digits. That won't work. So this is a thermometer. I'm just going to write T into the corner of that one. That is a thermometer. That means, right, and this is a thermometer. So where is 9 in this box? And the answer is I don't really know. But it's got to be in a thermometer tip. It's got to be in one of those 2 cells, which means... right, so it means that this... we already knew this wasn't a thermometer because it's got all 9 digits on it, so it's got the smelly on it. So which is going to change its colour to something else. But it can't... if the 9 is there, it would... wait a minute, hang on. That... well... yeah. Oh, this is beautiful. Right. I think this one might be, I want to say a hitline. We know it's not a thermo. So the next question is, can it be an index line? Now, if it's an index line, this cell is saying write the 1 into whatever position we write into this cell. But this is 5, 6, 7. Oh, whoopsie. This cell is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, isn't it? So that's saying write 1 into one of the last 5 cells on the line. Well, this can't be a 1, and none of those can be a 1. So that's just wrong. So this is a hit line, and it's still, it still feels ridiculous because, well, it can't be a 9. It just can't be, because 9 would be saying every single digit on there is correctly positioned, and the 9 itself would not be correctly positioned. So 9 is actually in one of those 2, and this is 5, 6, 7, or 8, any of which I would have thought were monstrously hard to achieve. I bet this has to be a 5. How? Okay, these digits, forgive the pencil mark here, but they're 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. We know these are not 9. Now, yeah, actually, so they are 1, 2, 3, and 4, aren't they? Because this line contains everything. So those digits are the same as these digits. And that one can't be a 1. Nine. Hang on. 9 is on that line. Well, how could the 9 ever be there in the hexagon? What sort of line would that be? It couldn't be a thermo. It couldn't be an index line. It couldn't be a hit line. 9 is definitely not there. I know one of... Hang on. This is tricky, isn't it? It's not easy to do this. One of these is the smelly. Yeah, that is right, isn't it? Because I know there's a smelly on there. And I know if there was also a smelly on here, I couldn't put a smelly on these 2 index lines. And I know there's one smelly on those. It looks like it's going to have to be there. I'm not sure it has to be, but maybe one of those can be a smelly. I don't know. Oh yeah, but I know what I wanted to think about. How do I make this a hit line? What's in terms of what could count, what could be correctly positioned? This can't be a 1. That can be a 2. That could be 2. Hang on. One of these digits is a 1, because I've got to put 1 on the line. So it's not possible to write 2, 3, 4 on that and score 3 hit points. I could score 2 hit points there. So 2 there. That's position 5. So this is wrong. This is wrong. The 1 over here is wrong. So that's 3 definitely wrong digits. But these could all be correct, could they? Well, okay, but 3 are definitely wrong. That's wrong, and the 1 over here is wrong. So that can't be higher than 6. That's a maximum of 5, or maximum of 6, minimum of 5. And I don't know what that means. This feels. It's quite interesting because Marty has presumably made this to say, "Happy birthday, VikingPrime. I'm making a puzzle in your style." And although, because Marty's puzzles normally, I think Marty holds back from displaying his pure intellect intellect, because if he actually just said, here you go, here's my full intellect, everyone would just go, well, I can't do it. And I think, because VikingPrime is super clever as well, I think that what Marty's done here is gone, no, I'm going to show you more of my props here. I don't really... Do I know whether... That's real, isn't it? So that's a thermo. So I'm going to label that one with a T so I can actually remember that. No, I want a corner T, please. So this whole box is full of thermos. If this is a 1, what exactly am I saying? I'm saying this is a true hit line, and then that would be a false hit line. So if that's got the smelly on it, that would be the smelly, and that would be a thermo. So and the smelly digit I know is at least a 5. It looks, maybe the smelly digit is a 9. And the rule, they can only be one thing, can't they? So if that's a 1, I can't make that a thermo as well. So if that's a 1, that's a real hit line. So these would have to be in the opposite order. And if that is not a 1, this is a false. It's just not a hit line. Maverick's flying over. It would be either a thermo, which looks quite promising, or an index line. But this would be a 1, so this would be... Oh, no, that couldn't be an index line. Actually, it's got these two digits are too high. But you can only put the digits 1, 2, and 3 on it. So okay, so this is not an index line ever. It's either... In fact, that's not an index line ever. So that's either a thermo or a hit line. And this is either a thermo or a hit line. Okay. I don't know what that means. This is a real thermo. But it mustn't be anything else. So... Yeah, so what happens if this cell is not a 2? Let's just make it 3, just for the sake of example. How many digits are correctly hit on that line? The 1 is correct, and every other digit can't be correct because the 3 is not correct. This will be therefore at least a 4 in the 3rd position, and everything's too high, basically. But that would mean that this was a correct hit line and it was a correct thermo, so that doesn't work. I think that has to be a 2. And that will correct it, because now the 1 is not correctly counting the number of correct hits on the line, because now there are at least 2 correct hits on the line. And now that can't be a 2. And that does absolutely nothing. So 1 and 2 are over there. Okay, that does one thing. 1 and 2 are over here, so this can't be a real index line. In fact, it hasn't been able to be a real index line forever, because what would it contain? It would be the digits 1, 2, and 3, and then I'd have too many repeated digits in this column. So this line contains a smelly, and therefore, so it's either a hit line, which we know would make this a 1. Oh, it can't be. Ah, this is a thermo. Yeah, hang on. Because I know 1 is in one of those 3 positions, and I have learnt at great length that a 3-cell hit line has a 1. If it's a real hit line, it has a 1 in its hexagon. So if this is a hit line, it has a 1 there, which it doesn't. So this is a thermo. And that means, well, I don't think it means very much, but I feel like it means that digit's at least a 5. Because how could it not be? If this was a low digit, a 1, 2, 3, 4 digit, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4 digit, and we'd have too many 1, 2, 3, 4 digits in the column. So that's at least a 5. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything, I don't think. It sounds like there's now a trampoline war going on. It's all go here. Oh dear. So I've still got absolutely no clue what the smelly digit is, where the smelly digit goes, really, in any number of boxes, or even how to approach this, to be honest. This is just, it's really difficult. No, that doesn't. How do I do this at all? Okay, let's try and think about this. Is it this? Is that hard? Is that hard to achieve? If that's 6, how hard does it actually get? If that's 6, this is a hit line. That is definitely... Yeah, we've already done this. Ah, okay. No, there is more, isn't there? If this is 6, how do you get to a count of 6? Because the 6 itself can't be correctly counted. And the 6 is that position, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 would be wrong, this would be wrong, the 1 would be wrong, wherever that is. Or to put it a different way, these couldn't be 2, 3, 4. So not all of those could count. Yeah, you could count 2 of these and 3 of these if this is 6, because the 6 itself couldn't be correct. And that only gets you to a count of 5. So that is a 5. Okay, that's been available for ages. Now, so at least 3 of those have to be correct, because I can't get more than 2 from here. So at least 3 of these have to be correct. So if that is a 1, if that's a 1, it's a real hit line, but it can't be a real thermometer as well. So it would have to be a reversed thermometer, which would make this... Oh, this is so confusing. So if this is a 1, this is real, i.e. it's a real hit line, which makes this a 1. From a hit line perspective, we don't care what these are, but I can't also make it a thermo. So it would go 1, This would be 7 or 8, and this would be 6 or 7. It would have to go backwards. This would have to be bigger than that. Now, does that allow me still to get enough counting there? Can't really see it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does take away the ability of this one to be 6 if this is a 1. Because if that's 6, that will be higher and that will be a correct thermometer. So this would be 7 or 8. That's tricky actually, you know. That is tricky to make that work, because let's just work through this slowly. What I'm saying is, I know because this is a 5, at least 3 of these positions are in the correct positions on the line. So position 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 3 of those have to be correct. But if this is a 1, now I must make sure that this digit is bigger than this one. Otherwise, this is not only a hit line, it's a thermo as well. So this is a 7 or an 8, and that is a 6 or a 7. Now, this digit now, which is a 7 or an 8, is misplaced. So I've like increased the number of misplacements, because the 7 or 8, whatever this is, can't go there or there now. So this one is wrong, definitely, and whatever digit this is also wrong. If this was a 7, you couldn't put 7 there. If this was an 8, you couldn't put 8 here. So you're going to lose 2 of the digits, definitely. Right, we've got to be careful. Right, so what this is telling us is that this, I think it's telling us this can't be a 1. Because if this is a 1, I can't make this not a thermo. It would have to be a thermo in order for my 5 to be correct. So what I want to do, so this is not a 1. This is a 1. Because we knew one of these had to be real. And why did we know that? I can't remember. Oh, because they couldn't both be real, because they both have 1 in the bulb. That's why. And I couldn't make them both false, because then I'd have too many ones. This is Marty. You've gone completely nuts. Oh, wait. Hang on. I need to replace the pencil marks here. These are not 9. These are from 6, 7, 8. And I don't think I now know the order at all. But I've just noticed I've got a 1 here, and I've got to put a 1 on that line, which is a real index line. So that's a 1, and that 1 is in position 4. So that's a 4, and now that is not a 4. And I'm quite sure this does something. 2, 3, and 4 are now... Well, can any of them go there? That would be a legitimate question. No, because that is a thermo. So if I put 2, 3, or 4 here, this has to be a 1, and it can't be. So 2 is already on this thermo, but I think 3 and 4 are on this thermo as well, and I can write those in. So that is 3, that is 4. We probably have to be careful with this being a 5 and being an index line or something, but that's now a 4, which means this is now 1, 2, 3. Further implying that this one has to be smellified. Oh no. So this is so weird. This one has to have a smellification, but I still don't know where the smellification is. It could be that one, and one of those is a smelly, or one of those, one of these, and one of those is a smelly. But I know 4 isn't a smelly. So, hang on. This line was meant to be a thermo and is currently performing that job manfully. It can't be a hit line, because at the moment it's doing very well. It's scored 4, so it's not a hit line. But if this was a 5, it would be an index line. It would be one of those perfect index lines where everything is indexing itself. So this is not a 5. So 5 is in one of those. And hang on, this is a... hang on. This is a thermo. So that digit is 5 or 6, just by dint of the fact it can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this thermo's got hardly any, and this has to be a 5 because 5 can't go there. So this digit, I don't know. Or at least I've got something in the grid. Come on, silly man. Work out what's going on. This digit is now not countable, is it? So these two could be countable if that is a 1. So 5, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2. I still have to make sure 3 of those are counted. But this thing... Oh, wait. Okay, I know that this is a false. I don't know how it's false in terms of I don't know where the smelly digit is on it, but I know it's false. I know it's not an index line. Sorry, not a hit line. I know it's not an index line because it can't contain 1, 2, and 3. So this is a thermo, which means... I don't know what it means. Well, it means that this can't be an 8. And that can't be a 6. We've got to ascend from here to here. Oh. So I don't know what that means. If this was... Okay, if that was a 7... Wait, this is a 6. Yeah, this is great. I can do this, finally. If this is a 6, everything can work. If this is a 7, that's an 8. Both of those are mispositioned, because that's position 7, that's position... that's position 6, and that's position 7. They'd both be off incorrect, so I could only score 2. In fact, I couldn't even score 2 if that's 7, that's 8, because the 8 would be mispositioned. So this is a 6. And now that's a 6. I've got to put 6 in this box. So this digit, that digit's 7, 8, or 9 just by Sudoku. And that does give me a 7, 8, 9 triple in this column. So these digits are 2, 3, 5. And presumably that's going to be incredibly important. These digits are 6, 6, 7, 8, not 9. 6, 7, 8 here. Surely that can't be true. If this is a true hit line. No. Well, wait. No. This is a length 7 line. So that if this is 7, obviously there are not 7 correctly placed digits, because this is incorrect in itself. If this is a 6, I've got to place the rest of the digits in the correct place. So I could go 2, 3, this would need to be a 4, and it isn't. So this is a lying. The thing is, it's lying, and therefore it's smellified, but we don't know, or at least I don't know, where the smellification is ponging from. It could be from here, or it could be from there. Okay, so what? Oh, it's not a thermo. Oh, wait a second. This is very good. This is very good, because it's not a thermo, because this digit's too big. If this is a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, this would be at least a 12. So this is an index line of length 7. So it has the digits 1 to 7 on it, and not 8. So this is 6, 7. No memeing. That's now 8, 9. That is now 7. If these were the wrong way round, if this went 6, 7, 9, 8, we'd only score 2 here and a maximum of 2 here. We wouldn't get to 5. So we've got to go 8, 9. these digits are 8 and 9, and probably something that tells us which way around they go. They go, if they were 8, 9 that way, it would be a thermo, but it's only meant to be a hitline. It's not meant to be a thermo as well. So it's got to go backwards. 9, 8, 7. Okay. This is going to be a thermo, isn't it? So now we know the smelly digit is 5, 6, or 7. I know it's not 2 or 3 from this box. So if that is 2 or 3, we'd know that the smelly digit is 6 or 7. But if this is 5 and 5 is smelly, you see that could very well work. That would be smelly, that would be smelly, and that would be smelly. So, right, 6 and 7 here are indexing 1 and 4. This is position 1, this is position 4. So these two digits are 1 and 4. I actually know the order of these. This is a 1. Oh, whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. How do I get... Ah. This is a 1-4 pair. Ah, getting mad. And that must be the 1. That's going to give me the order of the 6 and the 7. So that's a 6, that's a 7. And this digit is a 5, because this line needs to have 2, 3, and 5 on it, and that has to be 5. So this is 5. So I think 5 is going to be smelly. I'm not certain, but I think it is going to be 5. So now, well, hang on. 6, 7, 8, 9 are all correct here. So that's 4 corrects. So I need either this to be a 2 or this to be a 3. I don't know. That's fine, isn't it? Oh, that can't be 5. So that can't be 6. This is a thermo, isn't it? I haven't gone mad there. I know it's... Yeah, yeah, it is. Because it would need a 1 in the bulb or 1 in the hexagon to be a hit line. And we can see it's got the smelly on it. So 1 is quite close to the hexagon in box thingy. That's it. Look, this digit here is very, very high. It can't be 1, 2, 3. It can't be 4 or 5. So it's at least 6 on a thermometer. So that's got to be 6 or 7. This can't be 6 now, and this can't be 7 now. I've got an 8, 9 pair in row 7. I've got, where's 4 in column 4? Can't be there. It's got to be there. So this digit, it's 7 or 8, is it? Is that what we're saying? That's good if it's true, because it'll place 6 in the column. Yeah, so that's the question, isn't it? Where's 6 in the column? It's got to go there. So that's 6. 6 is over there. 9 in the column is placed. 9, 8, 9. And so right, so the smelly is not 5 anymore, because the 5 isn't here. So right, this is huge. Nah, it's nearly huge. Right, now we need to do some correcting, because the smelly I know is on here, and from somewhere, in my brain, I thought it was 5, 6, or 7. Why did I think that? I mean, I know I thought this. I think it's because it had to be on there. But I can't really remember, but it's definitely not there, actually. But because it was 5, 6, or 7, but now it's down here and can't be 5, it's 6 or 7, which means it is one of these digits, which means it's not one of these digits. But now it's one of those two digits. It's not this digit. It's not this digit. And what does this mean? Who knows? Can this be a real hitline? If it was, that couldn't be a 1, so that would be at least a... No, I have learned that a 4-cell correct hitline has to either have a 1 in its bulb or have a 2 in its bulb, but the 3 and the 4 have to be correctly positioned, which they can't be. So this is telling a fib, and that means it has got the 6 or the 7 on it. And that, right, so this line here is it's not an index line, because then it would contain, these digits would have to be 1, 2, and 3, and we'd have so many digits in this box that were from 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a thermo, and now this is not the naughty. It's not the smelly, because the smelly is 6 or 7, and this is a real thermo. So one of those is 6 or 7, and is the smelly, and this digit is... Oh, this is beautiful logic, honestly. So this is a thermo, so that's got to be lower than 4. And it can't be 1. So it's got to be 2 or 3, and now I've got a 2, 3 pair there. So that's a 1. And now the 2 on this line can't be correctly positioned, so the 3 must be. So that's a 3, that's a 2, that's a 2, that's a 2, that's a 3. No 3 in the corner there. 3, we could get 3 in the corner up there though. 4 is on this line, so this line could be real actually. Maybe it is real. Hang on, because it could be real. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would contain the digits 1 to 6, which actually it really could be real. But if it wasn't real, the only way it's not real is if the smelly is a 6, actually. Why do I say that? Because where would we smellify this smelly? The way we would smellify it, it couldn't make these smelly because one of those is smelly. So we'd have to smellify it here, which is in the same row as a 7. So that would be a smelly 6. Yeah, smelly 6 might be where we're going. And then that would be... No! Smelly 6 is not going to be our friend. Well, no, I'm not saying that, actually. I'm not quite saying that. What I'm saying is that I think this... What I'm saying is this is a real line. So that's always a 6. Even though it might not be smelly. Wait, no, this is fine. This is beautiful. This is it. I think the smelly is a 7. Bear with me on this. For this line to be smelly, that has to be the smellier, which has to be a 6, which means that this digit would be the smelly, and it would be a smelly 6. So this would have to be a 5 to make the thermo work, but it can't be. So this is not a smellifying 6. But that doesn't really matter, because therefore we know this line is a true index line, so it contains a 6 on it. Well, where are we putting that? That cell again. So that's always a 6. But now I think it's an unsmelly 6. Because if it was a smelly 6, it would break. So 6 can't be smelly. And 6 is... Yeah, I suppose another way of seeing that is that 6 is in one of these two cells. If 6 was there, the thermo would break. So 6 is here and therefore can't be smelly. So 7 is smelly. And I know 7 is on this line. So that is a 7. And 7 is in one of those. And let's correct everything now. So all of those are unsmelly. All of these are definitely smelly. There is a 7 on here. Now, if the 7 was here, I'd have the same problem. This digit would have to be a thermo, and this would have to be a 5 and a 6 to lie between the 4 and the 7. So the 7 has to go here. This has to be 8 or 9. Apparently that's not resolved. 7 is in one of... Oh, okay, this is an 8. I didn't see this, but 7 is in one of those. These digits include a 3. They're 3, 7, 9. Feels like we should be able to do that, but I can't see how to. That's not 9. Now this line now... Well, these are the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means this is an 8. Which means one of those is an 8. And, okay, so if the 1, if the 1 was here, it would be saying, write the 2 on the index line into the first position where it can't go. So this is a 1, which doesn't actually, it's not going to be very good for us, is it? Now, if the 2 was here, that would be saying write a 5 into this position, I think, which doesn't work. So this is a 2. So these are 3, 4, 5. I'm sure we'll be able to do better. Let me just think about it, though. So these are 3, 4, 5. Now, if this was a 3, that would be saying this was a 5. And if this was a 5, this would be a 3, 4 pair. That would be a 9. I don't know. What about that? Is this a naked... Maybe this column, actually. Hang on. I need 3, 4, 5, 9. That's a naked single. That's a 5. So that's a 5. That's not that good, actually. If that 5... So this line... Oh, wait. Wait. I can't make this a thermo. If it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it would be a thermo. So it mustn't do that. So I've got to reverse those two. This is now a 9. This is 3, 7. It's this is an index line. So the 2 and the 3 there are indexing each other, and I can't use them. And can this be anything else? Don't know. 9 is being placed up here, so this is presumably 8. Now, okay, let's get rid of our corner pencil marks, because we actually are in a position where we can go 3, 6, 8, 4, 5, 9, 1, 2, 7. And smelly things are 7s. So one of those is smellied. Whatever that means. Well, hang on. This can't be both an index line and a thermometer. So if that's a 1, it will be a thermometer. And it will be a hitline, sorry, because it will be correctly counting 1. That can't be a 1. If this is a 2, this is a 2. It can't be correct, so it would need to have a 7 on it. Am I going crazy? Maybe I think I'm starting to overcomplicate this in my brain. In order for something to be... I think I've gone mad. Shenanigans are only caused by the smellies, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, so this line can't be real. It just can't be. Well, it couldn't be real without it being a correct thermo. So this has to be a 7. So this... Now, how does that have to be a 9? Because this has to meet some criteria. It's definitely not an index line anymore, so that's a 9. This is not a 7 anymore. This line could be an index line if it's got 3 and 4. 4, 3, and then you'd have to be really careful about not making this a thermometer. Okay, let's do some more pencil marking. What do we need? We need 1, 7, 9 in the bottom row. Oh, that's easy. This is naked single. That's a 1. Okay. This is meant to be, well, we don't know. Because it could be a real thermo. Well, it could still be indexed. No, it can't be indexed, so it could be hit. It could be a hit line. 3, 5, 8. I wonder how many times I've missaid the words index line and hit line. I've interchanged them, incorrectly when I haven't meant to. Probably quite a lot. So these... okay. So how do we do this then? If... So this line here, has it got the smelly on it? That must be the first question. Has it got the smelly on it? And if it has got the smelly on it, what is it going to be? And the answer's probably a thermo, isn't it? It probably is. I'm far from clear about... Oh, can this be... I don't know how to do this. I just don't know. I'm sorry. Let's try and do some Sudoku, shall we? 1 is in one of those cells. This digit is 1, 3, 6. It's not... okay. That digit is restricted. 3 or 6, I think. I'm just going to double check that. 1, 3, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 3 or 6. And this digit, well, it just depends on what the line is. You see, if the line is real, this has to be a 4, and probably could be. If the line is not real, this has to be 7, because it needs something on it to make it not real. So that is 4 or 7. That's bizarre, isn't it? So if it is 7, then we have to decide what sort of line this is. And it has to be, I mean, it looks like it can be a thermo all day long. And it would... yeah, you just have to be careful about it. I don't think it would be a hit line, would it? If this is a 7, if this went... if it was 7 and it was a thermo, it would have to go 1, 2, something 7, and that would be a correct thermo, but this wouldn't be counting the correct number of hits, because the 1 and the 2 would be in the correct position, so this should be a 2 but wouldn't be if this is a 7. If this is a 4, on the other hand, this would be a 3. 4, 3, And then these would have to be, these would have to stop this being a thermo. So this would have to go 1, 2. So it would be a 1, 2, 3, 4 line. I don't know if that's possible or not. Both of those things seem very reasonable. All right, let's keep going with Sudoku though. 2, 3, 8, 9. And that's not 9. 1, 3, 6, 7 here. 1, 3, 6, 7. Is there a line I've not used? He says somewhat desperately. I've not really thought about this line down here, but that line looks absolutely fine to me to be a thermo, with this being a 9. That's very fine. That would make this a 7. That would be a 4. Is it some sort of Sudoku trick? Do I know the order of those? If that was a 3, that would help, would it? Yeah, it would stop this being real. So if that is 6, that is 7. Maybe that's a problem. So then that would be a 7. So this would have to be not a thermo, which would mean it's either... Oh, so it would have to be a hitline, which would mean that this 1 would be correctly counting the only instance of correct digits. So this couldn't be a 3 in that situation. This would be a 5 or an 8. See, all of these things look broadly possible to me. It doesn't look like I've got enough information. I need a knight's move or something to finish it. Am I being really dense? Chorus of people from Simon's Future. Yes, Simon, that's definitely smelly. In this row, what do we need? Oh, I suddenly thought maybe I got a 2, 3, 4, 7, but I haven't. 5 is in one of those 2 cells. That is true. What? I don't understand. I really don't understand. It feels like there must be some configuration which is going to make one of these lines do too many things correctly. That's what I think. I don't know how to prove it though. I'm sure there is a way. Probably. If this was an 8, would we care? No, because if this was a hit line, you can absolutely put crazy digits on it. If this was a 7, this wouldn't be a thermo. This would be a hit line. And the only thing that I'd have to be careful about would be the possibility of this being a 3. So providing I avoided that, I think it would work. If this is a 7. If this is a 7, this is a 9. That prevents this being an 8. So this would be 5 or 8. And this would be a 4. And that would be a 5. And this would be a 5. Ugh, loads of things would flurry along. Okay, so maybe it's this line again. I think that somehow there is a way that we can tell what this line does. And I don't know what it is. I really don't. If it is real, and it's got 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it, it must not be a thermo. So it would have to be 2, 1, 3, 4, wouldn't it? Oh, that makes it... Oh, that's beautiful. I've seen it now. That doesn't work. Because that makes it into one of those weird thingies that we were looking at a very long time ago. If this, yeah, so the point is, I mean, that's brilliant, Marty. Actually, that is brilliant. That's just flamboyant. To put that in the puzzle is just flamboyant. I'm a bit cross with myself. I didn't see it more quickly, but it is brilliant. So what Marty has worked out somehow is that he can lead us on this merry dance. And at this point, he can say, oh, look, you've got a possible index line here. But if you do think this is a real index line, more fool you. Because how do you make it not one of the other things? The point being, if it's a real index line, it only contains 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can see the 3 and the 4 have to go there. Therefore, we can't make it a thermometer, so it can't go 1, 2. So it has to go 2, 1. But then you get this 2, 1, 3, 4 nonsense, where that is the correct hit line total because the 3 and the 4 are in the correct position. That is absolute genius. So this has got to be a 7, thereby making that a 7 and this a 9. Let's hope this does something profound. These are all the smellies. We have found all the smellies. This is a 7. This is a 3. That's a 3. That's a 2 now. So these don't include 3. They are. That's a 9 apparently. This is a 2, 8 pair. And in this row, we can take 7 out of these cells. 1, 3, 6. So what are those? 4, 5? That looks good, doesn't it? That does look good. And I've got a 4, 5 pair here. So we can take 4 out of this one, 5 out of this one. And because this is a lying line, we now have to decide what it is. It could be a thermo. And just go 1, 2, and then anything. And that would work. Can it be? Maybe this always has to be a 1. And this one isn't. Oh, hang on. This one is only capable now of being a hit line, with this being the correct count. So that can't be a 3. And it's still all going to come down to this line, isn't it? I think. So what line is this? If it's a hit line, we can't put 1 here because it will then be rendered incorrect by the 2 being in the correct position. And if the 2 goes here, he can't put 2 correct position digits in it. So it is a thermo, and it's got to go 1, 2, something. This is now 1 by Sudoku. This 2 needs to do a lot. I hope it's going to do enough, but I'm not sure. That's 5 now. This is not 2. So that 5 does the 5 and the 4. That does the 6, the 2 and the 4. That does the 4. Okay, we might be in business here. This column is done, isn't it? I need to put 3 in it. Oh, I didn't get a 3 in the corner as a result of that. And this is, no, this was a hit line. It wasn't allowed to be a thermo. Oh, it mustn't, no, it's not allowed to be a thermo. So that's got to be an 8. It's got to not be a thermo, positively not be a thermo. There, now we've done it. Whoa, now we've done it. Wow. Wow, that was beastly. Absolutely beastly. I mean, I wasn't helped by my sister arriving. Bad Hannah. But to be honest, that's not her fault. It's entirely mine. But I think even if I'd had a fair wind, I'd still have got in a world of trouble over here, and then I'd probably still have got in a world of trouble over there. Anyway, oh, what's that mean? Oh, that's fine. Anyway, I better get on. This has to get to the video. It has to be uploaded. But brilliant puzzle, Marty. Happy birthday, VikingPrime. I'm going to go and put my head in a cold towel. Thanks for watching. It was right, wasn't it? Oh, mischief managed. That's the Marauders map. It felt like, yeah, it feels like I've been on a trip through the Marauders map. Anyway, let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.